Look, I'm not going to think too much about this one. The Avs lost a game which, on paper, they were absolutely supposed to lose. And in the end, they almost didn't lose. Avs lose to the St. Louis Blues 5-3.
Alex Newhook!
Oh boy.
Whoa! Mika!
When you look at the Avs lineup, Nathan MacKinnon and Jack Johnson out on COVID protocol, Gabe Landeskog suspended, Val Nichushkin and Devon Taves out with injury. Their lineup was a total mess. There were a significant number of players that would not be in their starting lineup if the Avs were completely healthy, and it just was a lineup that lacked a little bit of high-end talent. We'll put it that way. That didn't stop the posts from happening, though, as 2 good ones and 1 bad one did come through in this game. So we're 2 games into the season, and there have already been a total of 5 posts in Avalanche games. As for the game itself, the first period was rough. The Avs got thoroughly dominated when it came to puck possession, and it was clear that there was a bit of a skill difference with the missing Avs players. They got outshot, I believe, 16-5, so not great. They did only give up 1 goal in that period, though, so it could have been quite a bit worse. Here is that goal. St. Louis has the puck at the top of the Avs zone here. You can see Helm is way out up high, but they eventually work the puck back down in deep. They collect it, and they have control beneath the goal line or around the goal line in the Avs zone. And look at Helm. He's going to come all the way back here to the middle of the ice and overcommit extremely heavily. Now, maybe there's a bit of miscommunication here. Maybe Helm is expecting Rancid to be the guy playing high in the zone. But the Avs just end up way too deep in their own zone as a pass comes through to the top area. Not even really the high slot, it's beyond that. But because Helm is so deep, Ranta isn't backing up towards the center of the ice either. It ends up with giving Justin Falk a ton of room to walk into, find a shooting lane, and get one past Helm, and then it beats Kemper clean as well. The bad news is that messy defense was going to be par for the course for a lot of this game for the Avs. Not that it was awful, but just not super crisp. The second period, the play from the Avs actually got a lot better. The effort level was up. They were really pushing play. Again, just lacking a little bit of that skill in the lineup. They struggled to finish despite completely controlling the period. Shots were flipped on their head. It was St. Louis with just 5 shots in the second period. And unfortunately, of those 5 shots, 2 went in the net. The first one of the second period is not a fun one to watch. A standard 2-on-2 situation for the Avs defense. McDermott and Murray are the defenders, and in fact, there's not going to be anything extra going on here. The Avs have the next 2 players coming back. This should be pretty much a nothing play. You're going to see St. Louis run the cross play here. It's a pretty standard switch for the defense to make. McDermott continuing with the puck carrier as they cross over each other. The problem here is, for some reason, as McDermott continues to reach and poke at the puck with his stick. Don't really have a problem with that. He just stops skating. He just completely stops skating. He starts reaching only, and when he inevitably misses the poke check, Shen goes right around him, and suddenly he's given up a breakaway because he simply stopped moving his feet. That's not an NHL caliber defense. It just isn't. Shen is going to finish. Not going to say anything about it. That was the highlight. The second goal is when you start feeling like the Avs did really need a big save out of Darcy Kemper, and they just couldn't quite get one when they needed one. Blues get a 3-on-2 break here, but there just isn't anything in this play. Perron kind of walks in, and the Avs just continue to give him space, continue to give him space, continue to give him space. Gerard backs off and allows Perron to essentially walk all the way into the top of the circle as he starts to fire this shot. Would have liked to maybe see him be a touch more aggressive than that, but even still, this is probably a shot you're asking your goaltender to save. And now credit Perron, he makes an unbelievably good shot, puts it right in the top corner on the blocker side. You cannot shoot it much better than that, but eventually you have to get a save in an important situation. Had Kemper been able to keep this a 2-goal game, it's a very different story. And I'm not saying that was an easy save to make. It was a very good shot into the top corner. But sometimes you need your goalie to make a big one. Just to prove my point, a couple minutes later, the Avs come down and get a goal back. That brings it to a 2-goal game instead of a 1-goal game. Two very different situations heading into the third period. The one real high skill goal of the night for the Avs here. Girard collects the puck in behind his own net, recognizes that St. Louis has put 3 forwards pretty deep on the forecheck here, and he's gonna have Kadri. A little bit of crossing action. He can go up the wall and get it cleanly to Kadri every single time here. He puts the pass right on the money, makes it look easy, and the Avs have a 3-on-2 entry because of that. Kadri has all the room in the world. Good job by Compher to just do the simple play, skate right down the middle of the ice and force defenders to the front of their own net. That opens up the seam. Kadri makes a great pass. Burakovsky is the guy you want shooting the puck tonight, and he scores this one. The Avs do get on the board, though, so that is a win. They didn't get shut out in this game. At that point, that maybe was the only thing you were rooting for. Down 3-1 heading into the third. And while the Avs would make this a game eventually, and some might argue should have tied this game, they did shoot themselves in the foot in the early parts of the third period. They end up taking a penalty and paying the price to make it a 4-1 game. Avs penalty kill is winding down here, and I actually don't mind this defense to start this play from EJ. He steps up on the blue line and forces St. Louis to essentially dump a puck in here. But as soon as the puck gets dumped, that's where the problems start. Part of this, I think, is a lack of communication. With EJ stepping up, that means he's going to be high in the zone, but the Avs double commit, with Jost continuing to chase and Murray also committing to the dumped-in puck and the puck carrier. One of the bigger problems, I think, is Murray takes a really bad route here, gets beat to the puck and can't do anything about it, so the puck can get sent in even deeper. And now the Avs just continue to chase and overcommit to things, as the Avs are actually going to end up, as Helm comes around this side of the net, with 3 players below their own goal line on the penalty kill. Yeah, I don't think I have to explain that that is terrible coverage of the ice. Everything opens right up. As Helm commits, you cannot let this pass get through. You have to know you're in big, big trouble in the slot if this pass gets through you. It's exactly what happens, and it's a pretty easy walk-in for Perron again. This one, a lot closer than the top of the circles, a little bit harder to fault Kemper as he goes far side once again. Look, the lack of talent in front of Kemper is pretty obvious in this game, but 4 goals on 28 shots, again, you got to find a way to make at least one of those saves, push for a 900 save percentage, even if they are high danger opportunities. The majority of the third went by with little danger coming out from the Avs, but in the last 6 or so minutes, they do end up pushing for some opportunity with some weird penalty calls and some other things going on. They end up in a goalie pulled 5-on-4 situation that eventually turns into a 6-on-5 like normal, and they score not 1, but 2 goals with the goalie pulled. Avs in a 5-on-4 situation because of their goalie being pulled with more than 5.5 minutes left in the game. They are down by 3, but interesting to see Bednar going for it like this. It's not something he does very often. The Avs have already had a significant amount of zone time. They work it around up high quite a bit, and then you can see they're essentially treating this like a normal power play. They're feeding Compher in the bumper spot. He gets a good shot on net here. Binnington makes the save, but great work by Jost. He already has the better positioning down low. When the rebound comes out, he just gets his stick on it and it chips it in. A pretty easy one. Same situation as the last. The Avs essentially treating this like a power play. Makar and Kadri working the puck up high, and this play is all Kadri. You'll notice JT Compher literally just AFKing it at the back post as the Avs pass the puck around on the point. Kadri, this is a pass all the way. Completely a pass. This is not a shot. He hits Compher on the money. Compher does a good job to catch it with his skate and put it home. We can see on the overhead view here, he just nails this one. It's a perfect pass from Kadri. Compher does a great job, kicks it, and then leaves enough room, unlike the next goal that we're going to talk about, to get his stick on this one and make it a 1-goal hockey game. There's nothing hyper fancy about either of these goals. It's just putting the work in, getting to the correct spots, and doing your job. That's how a lineup like the one the Avs iced in this game has to score goals. There really isn't a whole lot of other ways around it for the majority of the lineup. Yeah, Berkey and Rantanen and maybe Kadri can do a little bit more of the fancy stuff, but when you're talking about guys like Jost and Compher, that's how they have to make it work. Then we have the second Tyson Jost goal, which was a no goal. And I don't even need to play a clip for this one because by the rulebook, Tyson Jost absolutely kicked the puck into the net. There is no doubt in my mind that he kicked it in. Yes, it even went off of his other skate, but per the rulebook, if you kick it and it deflects off of something, it's still kicking it into the net. So by the rulebook, the refs got this call right. Can't really argue against it, have no problem with that. There is an argument here that when you look at the other games around the league where players are pretty obviously kicking pucks in the net, for some reason those goals still counted and this one didn't. So inconsistency from the reffing, and Toronto, in this case, as they did review the play there, is unfortunate. But they got this call correct, so I can't really argue for it. Would have been a cool story for the Avs to come roaring back and tie this game, but rules are rules, I guess, and I'd rather they follow them than not, even if the rule is dumb. With the tying goal taken back for the kick, the Avs kind of lose their steam, and eventually the Blues put it into the empty net to finish this one 5-3. It is what it is. I'm not going to go into any super deep breakdowns here because, again, this is the weakest you're likely to see the Avs line up this entire season. They're very likely to get McKinnon back for the next game. After that, Landy will come back, as that will be the second game of his suspension. You're also going to hopefully see Jack Johnson back fairly shortly, and that's only if he's in the lineup because Devon Taves isn't back yet. So, over the next week, week and a half, 2 weeks, the Avs should pretty much be back to full strength. Looks like Nichushkin might miss a little bit more than that, but the Avs are fine. This game is kind of one you throw away. Every NHL team is going to lose more than 20 games a season. This just happened to be the first one for the Avs. What I do want to say, and what was a far more exciting part of the night than the hockey game itself, for me, was the event that we had at the DNVR bar. You can find this video on this same YouTube channel, and I can pretty squarely say that I never expected to interview either of Adam Foote or Milan Hajduk, let alone Michel Goulet and Stefan Yell, and yet I got to interview all of them in one sitting last night. So that was kind of awesome. So I guess I just want to say thank you to all of you people who have made DNVR successful. Thank you to everyone that works at DNVR, whether it be AJ, Evan, Blaze, and all the people in the Avs beat, or everyone else. Lindsay, who our sales manager, who's incredible and helped put all this together. The guys over at Lacroix Hockey that made this possible for us to do at the DNVR bar, this whole event. All the people that bought tickets to the event to come hang out with a bunch of Avalanche legends. It was just an amazing event, and stuff like that is kind of the dream, right? It's the type of thing that I never imagined we'd be able to do, but here we are doing it. So thank you to everybody for that, even if this Avs game didn't go the way everyone wanted. Anyway, that is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our post-game coverage, and hopefully keep your eyes out in the future for more awesome events. I am Rudo, and interviewing those players was pretty cool.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nathan.